It's back by the Bay. D-backs holding on to their NL West lead as our division road trip continues. It's game 2 in San Francisco tonight, featuring a headline pitching matchup. The D-backs and the Giants on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from AT&T Park. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly along the way. D-backs tonight looking to weave in this series at a game apiece. We had a very well-pitched ball game here last night and should have another one tonight. A matchup of veterans for the D-backs. It's Clay Buchholz. Bobby's given up only 1 run in his last 2 starts.
He's been outstanding. Clay Buchholz answered a lot of questions that the Diamondbacks had about what he had left in the tank. He just goes out every time and puts great numbers up. Over his last 4 starts, he's 3-1 with a 1.55 ERA, and the one loss was to the Cincinnati Reds when his offense didn't score any runs for him.
Buchholz coming off wins over the Padres and the Angels. He's up against the veteran left-hander Madison Bumgarner. Mad Bum out there again tonight. Now the win-loss record, not much to write home about, 5-5, but there's the ERA once again under 3.
And coming off his best start of the season against the Mets, and Jacob deGrom went 8 innings, gave up 1 run on 5 hits, struck out 8, did not walk a batter. He's starting to look like the Madison Bumgarner of old.
He sure is. Time to get a win against him, though, tonight, and even this series at 1 game apiece. The D-backs and the Giants on Fox Sports Arizona. D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By the NASCAR Can-Am 500 at ISM Raceway, November 9th, 10th, and 11th. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money. Brought to you by Jack in the Box. This season, D-backs home runs score free Jumbo Jacks only at Jack in the Box. By Chaz Roberts, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By the new film Operation Finale. Discover the true story of the hunt for Hitler's deadliest lieutenant in theaters August 29th. By First Watch, the daytime cafe. By One AZ Credit Union. Let's bank together. And by Gila River Hotels and Casinos. The card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the card today.
Well, last night, right-hander Chris Stratton got the best of the Diamondbacks. Tonight, Clay Buchholz up against lefty Madison Bumgarner. Back after this.
Francisco game 2 of 3. Arizona trying to get into the win column after dropping last night 2-0. I'm Todd Walsh here inside the camera well just outside the Arizona Diamondbacks dugout, as Steve and Bob just alluded to, and as we spoke of on the pregame show, marquee matchup on the mound, Clay Buchholz and Madison Bumgarner. Let's take a moment to focus in on Madison Bumgarner. The Arizona Diamondbacks have seen a lot of him over the years, a steady diet in fact. His lifetime numbers against Arizona, well, they're interesting. You just consider 32 games against them along the way. 32 games, and earlier today, I had a chance to talk to a couple of guys who will be battling him tonight, Steven Souza Jr. and Paul Goldschmidt.
He's a competitor for sure. He's not afraid of the big moment, I think, so you know, you got to be ready to go up there and compete against him. I think no matter the situation, he's not going to give in. Obviously got great angle on his fastball, and the slider cutter is a pitch that he's had a lot of success with over his career.
Steven, who has the edge in a situation like this? He hasn't seen a lot of you, but you haven't seen a lot of him.
That's a good question. I don't really know the answer to that. You know, I think it's kind of one of those things where, you know, if you get off to a good start, you see, if I see him well out the gate, then, you know, maybe I do. But you know, the more I get, you know, comfortable with him, you know, but the more he gets comfortable with me, knowing how to pitch to me, it's I don't think anybody really has the edge until you figure each other out.
He's a great pitcher, great competitor. He throws a lot of strikes. He can use his different pitches. He can mix it up. He comes right at you, but he can get you to chase too. So it's fun to go out there and compete against him, but it's definitely a really tough challenge.
Steven Souza Jr. was just saying he won't back down. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, he comes right at you. He doesn't want to walk guys. So yeah, he's a competitor out there. That's one of his best assets, and you know, he's got really good stuff too.
Madison Bumgarner, appointment television, I think, for so many of us who've been watching him over the years in Major League Baseball. And remember, the Diamondbacks learned a very, very tough lesson last night against Chris Stratton. They had the first 2 runners on base in the top of the first with the heart of the order up and came away with nothing. You have to cash in on the opportunities that present themselves in this stretch drive. There is no doubt about it. It cost them last night in that 2-0 loss. Another look at Clay Buchholz when we come back. First pitch, Arizona, San Francisco. From San Francisco, it's next.
Last night, certainly much less murky. Steve Berthew, Bob Bradley, Todd Walsh with you. The second of a 3-game set. The D-backs and the San Francisco Giants. Diamondbacks continue having trouble with the Giants. San Francisco has won 7 of the last 9 meetings, including the opener last night. Here's the Diamondbacks batting order presented by your Valley Chevy dealers.
John Jay will lead it off tonight. Over in left field, A.J. Pollock out in center. Paul Goldschmidt at first base. Eduardo Escobar at third. Steven Souza Jr. out in right field. Nick Ahmed at short. Ketel Marte back in the lineup at second base. And Jeff Mathis will do the catching tonight for right-hander Clay Buchholz.
Giants have already clinched a win in the season series with the D-backs, who are just 7-10 versus San Francisco with only 2 more games to play. Your Ram truck starting pitcher for the Giants, the lefty Madison Bumgarner. Now 29 years old, only 15 starts. You'll recall he missed the first 2 months of the year with that broken pinky finger on his pitching hand. 5-5, that ERA under 3.
And he's been really good here at home. A 171 ERA at AT&T Park with a 198 opponent's batting average. On the road, the ERA just a tick over 4 with a 265 opponent's batting average.
E.D. Marshall Jewelers has a look around the diamond at the Giants defense.
Austin Slater in left field tonight. Stephen Duggar out in center. Andrew McCutchen, the veteran, in right field. Evan Longoria will be at third base. Brandon Crawford and Joe Panik make up the double play combo tonight, with Brandon Belt back in the lineup at first base. Nick Hundley doing the catching, and lefty Madison Bumgarner on the mound.
Our plate umpire tonight calling the balls and strikes is Adrian Johnson. Corey Blazers at first base. Trip Gibson at second, and the crew chief Brian Gorman. There he is, our third base umpire tonight. And before we get going, Bob, time for your Valley Honda dealers key to the game.
We want to free the beast. We know it's in there offensively for the Diamondbacks. We've seen it sporadically throughout the season. I mean, there were times this year where they were like a honey badger going after opposing pitching staffs, and lately they've struggled to string hits together. And build innings, as Torrey likes to say. So free the beast tonight.
Yeah, tonight, game 132 of 162. September is almost here. It's getting late. And as Torrey said after last night, we're in a pennant race. We've got to collect as many wins as possible. Let's get this going right now. John Jay will start it off. He's in left field. David Peralta sits this one out. 282 and 3 home runs. Time to get going. D-backs 13 over 500. Their NL West lead still at 1 game over the Rockies. They're 2 games ahead of LA, although the Dodgers are beating up the Rangers right now in Texas. LA putting up a whole bunch of runs in support of Walker Buehler. So Bumgarner and Jay get us started. We're underway in San Francisco with strike 1. John Jay, 3 hits last night from the leadoff spot. He tripled in the 5th inning. Sends this one out to left center field. Duggar is there. A.J. Pollock back in the starting lineup. A lot of discussion around the Valley today about A.J.'s off day last night. He did get in as a pinch hitter late in the ball game and lined out. 277, 16 home runs.
And solid career numbers for A.J. against Mad Bum. A 281 batting average. He's had 57 career at bats. Only Goldie has had more, and 3 home runs just like Goldie against Mad Bum.
Giants put 3 infielders on the left-hand side. There's a strike. StatCast AI powered by AWS. The second baseman Joe Panik on the shortstop side of the bag. Longoria on the line at third. And they hit right into the shift. There's Crawford. Well, 2 outs on 4 pitches for Mad Bum. Here comes Paul Goldschmidt. Goldie 292 and 30 home runs. And as Bob mentioned, he's seen plenty of Mad Bum over the years.
63 career at bats against the Giants left-hander. 3 homers, 5 doubles, a triple. He's driven in 10.
Giants leave the shift on. That fastball is fouled away. Goldie last night 0 for 3 with a walk. And that extended his Diamondbacks record, reaching base safely in 39 consecutive road games. There's the Giants defense against him. If you weren't with us last night, you'll notice that 2-tone outfield here at AT&T Park. They've had some concerts here, some rugby tournaments, which I guess tore up the outfield. So they had to put some new grass down.
Who would have thought a rugby game would tear up the outfield?
Hard to believe. With Bumgarner, 2 outs and an 0-2 count on Goldie in just 6 pitches. Last night, just the 2nd time in 18 games that Goldie went hitless. He's batting almost 380 over that stretch. Bumgarner features both that curveball and the slider. Both pitches have been extremely effective for him lately. Doesn't have the same velocity he used to back in his younger days.
You heard Steven Souza Jr. and Goldie talking about his arsenal, and the fastball cutter combination. When he's commanding those 2 pitches, he doesn't really need a lot of breaking pitches.
And there's that slider, strikes out Goldie. Mad Bum makes short work of the Diamondbacks. Clay Buchholz coming up. the first against your Ram Truck starting pitcher for the D-backs. And where would they be without him? It's Clay Buchholz, 7-2, a 2.25 ERA. He has lost only once in his last 11 starts.
Yeah, 2 starts ago, 9 innings against the Padres, gave up only 1 run on 5 hits. Followed that up with a great performance against the Angels, shut him out on 4 hits over 7. Probably could have pitched deeper into that ball game, but he had thrown 112 in the start against San Diego, so Torrey shortened him up to 86 pitches in his start against the Angels.
Valley Chevy Dealers has the Giants lineup.
Andrew McCutchen in right field, Joe Panik at second base, Evan Longoria down at third base, Brandon Belt will be at first, Brandon Crawford at short, Austin Slater out in left field, Stephen Duggar the center fielder, followed by Nick Hundley the catcher, and Madison Bumgarner, a real good hitting pitcher.
McCutchen leads the Giants in home runs and RBIs. He doubled and walked last night. D-backs have the shift on against him. 3 defenders on the third base side, 1-1. Giants have won 3 straight. They're within 1 game of 500 now, and 7 games behind the D-backs division lead. That's yanked foul. San Francisco 7.5 back in the wild card spot. Bruce Bochy was saying after the game last night, it's an uphill battle, they know, but they are still in the discussion as far as they're concerned.
Well, that's the attitude you have to take as a manager, as a coaching staff, as a team. As long as you're not mathematically eliminated, you continue to go out there and grind every day as if you are in a pennant race.
They've been getting very good pitching, as we saw last night from Chris Stratton. That one's tap foul. McCutchen still belts the occasional home run, but he's been pretty quiet for much of the summer. Hitting barely over 230 since the end of June. This is in, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Clay Buchholz in 4 starts this month has given up only 5 earned runs. Joe Panik back in the lineup tonight on deck. And he's run it full on McCutchen, 3-2. Clay this month 25 strikeouts against just 4 walks. And it's really boiled down to some pretty basic pitching axioms. He has been throwing strikes and changing speeds. It's worked out very well.
And for Clay Buchholz, working fast, which is the third part of that trifecta for a pitcher.
The shift is on. Marte can't collar that one. And McCutchen's aboard. It was hit right at Ketel Marte with that overshift on, but a tricky hop for the second baseman. That's a base hit for McCutchen.
Yeah, hit hard, but hit right at Ketel Marte. Tries to play it to the backhand side and kind of olay it. Comes off his glove. Nick right there to back up the play, but no chance to get McCutchen at first.
Joe Panik. Panik with 4 homers. He's hitting .246. McCutchen still runs. He's got 13 stolen bases. Buchholz likes to throw to the bases a whole bunch.
You were saying?
He doesn't do it as often as he used to in his younger days in Boston. Torrey used to argue with him about it constantly. But Clay has always been under the impression it messes with the hitter as much as the base runner. That one just missed down and away. Panik's bat started to come around a bit. He's batting just over 300 in his last 14 games, but mostly singles, not much power. McCutchen holds, and that one just off the plate, but a strike for Adrian Johnson, 1-1. Buchholz coming off a brilliant performance against the Angels at Chase Field last Wednesday. Just 4 hits allowed, 7 scoreless, did not walk a batter, and had 7 strikeouts. And that coming off his complete game win over the Padres 2 starts ago. A little low, 2 balls and a strike.
Not missing by much, but Adrian Johnson historically is called a pretty tight zone. You're going to have to prove to him that you can hit those corners if you expect to get that pitch a couple inches off the corner.
The pitchers tend to have a higher ERA in games that Adrian Johnson umpires. But that really shouldn't be an issue for Buchholz, who's been around the strike zone all year long. I think Bumgarner had already retired the side in the top of the first by now.
I'm sure Clay Buchholz would like to work a little quicker, but that leadoff base hit by Andrew McCutchen kind of spoiled that plan, and now he's just playing baseball, doing what he has to do, keeping a base stealer close over there at first, giving his defense a chance to possibly turn 2 on a ground ball.
McCutchen got a big jump, and that one is fouled back. Diamondbacks got a break there. McCutchen had that base stolen.
Boy, did he ever. That was a Dave McKay-like jump that time. He just took off for second base while Buchholz was still standing on the mound. Fortunately, Joe Panik, a left-handed hitter, could not see that and swung at the pitch and fouled it away.
Jose Aguasil coaching at first for the Giants. 2-2 on Panik. There's your double play ball. Marte, Ahmed, and they roll it. Let's take a look at the Diamondbacks defense. That's provided by E.D. Marshall Jewelry.
John Jay leading the cheers out in left field. A.J. Pollock will be in center. Steven Souza Jr. over in right. It'll be Eduardo Escobar and Nick Ahmed on the left side of the infield. Ketel Marte, Paul Goldschmidt on the right side. Jeff Mathis doing the catching, and right-hander Clay Buchholz on the mound.
Evan Longoria, bases empty, 2 down. Longoria batting .245. He's got 14 home runs. 0 for 3 last night. There's ball 1.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to look at the stat sheet. The Giants against Clay Buchholz in their career. I mean, Brandon Crawford 6 at bats, Nick Hundley 5 at bats, Andrew McCutchen 7, Evan Longoria 56.
Yeah, these two have seen a whole lot of each other from their days in the American League East with Tampa Bay and Boston. Longo, a .220 career hitter against Buchholz. He's homered twice against Clay. Former Red Sox and Rays matchup right here. Center field, right at AJ. Scoreless through 1 in San Francisco. We're not going to get any help from the Texas Rangers tonight. Brian Dozier a home run. Dodgers all over the Rangers. It's 8-2. They're in the 7th inning. LA already with 13 hits. Ouch. The Rockies are at the Angels again after they collapsed last night. Colorado put up a 2-spot in the first. They lead it 2-0. So no good news to report from the rest of the National League West.
Gonna have to take care of business right here in San Francisco tonight.
Eduardo Escobar in the cleanup spot leads off the second against Madison Bumgarner. Escobar 277 and 19 homers. Adbum coming off a 9-pitch first. There's the strike. Bumgarner has not had much run support this year. You see the record, you go, okay, 5-5, but he's got that ERA under 3. He's allowed 3 earned runs or fewer in 12 of his 15 starts. And in those 15 starts, he's received a total of 28 runs in support. Hard to win like that. That is lined to shortstop off the glove of Crawford, and Escobar's aboard. Well, you don't see that too often. Crawford, 3 consecutive Gold Gloves.
When you see a sure-handed defender like that miss a line drive, it usually tells me the ball might have been knuckling a little bit, some late movement as it got out there to the shortstop position, and Crawford just had it hit in a bad spot of the glove that time.
No scoring decision as of yet. They put up an error on the board, E6. And here's Steven Souza Jr. Souza hitting .243 with 3 homers.
Well, the way I look at it, the more balls Brandon Crawford drops, better chance Nick Ahmed has of winning a Gold Glove. That was Crawford's 13th error of the season. Nick was 6.
Nick should be the runaway winner there, but you never know with those things. Panic with a runner at first, right near the bag at second. Most of that, if not all of the right side of the infield, wide open for Souza. See where McCutchen plays out in front of Triple's alley, that notch in the 421 mark in right center.
Yeah, we talked about that last night. The Giants and most teams that come in here to AT&T put their right fielder in that gap in right center to take away a possible triple or inside the park home run. It's only 309 down the right field line. If a ball's hit down in that corner, it's going to be a sure double anyway. So why not take away the triples in the inside the parkers?
Yeah, that short right field wall allows McCutchen to gamble a little bit more on some diving attempts like we saw last night when Jay hit that triple that got behind him. Steven Souza Jr. ahead, 3 balls and a strike. He's got Ahmed on deck. One has popped up. Panic calling for it on the outfield grass. Well, here is Nick Ahmed. 16 home runs for Nick. A .242 hitter. Nick 0 for 4 last night, had 4 hits in the Mariners series over the weekend. Well, just me, or is Madbum throwing a lot of breaking balls?
Yeah, surprisingly so. I was talking to Mike Krukow next door in the Giants television booth, and he was the one that was telling me all about the fastball. His 4-seam command, the cutter command has been really, really good recently. Hasn't had to use as many breaking pitches, but going against the grain here tonight.
There's that cutter tapped to short to get the force on Escobar. And that's the second out. Brings up Ketel Marte. Marte back in at second base tonight, batting .248 with 10 home runs. That batting average jumps up over 300 as a right-hand batter. He's a switch hitter.
Been some talk here in San Francisco recently about possibly moving the bullpens from their position in foul territory down the right and left field lines, where it's extremely hazardous for those corner outfielders running full speed over there near the mounds.
This one knuckles into center and drops in for a base hit. Ahmed hustling into third. And the Diamondbacks with 2 outs and runners in the corner. Good aggressive base running by Nick there.
They're talking about possibly moving the bullpens out into the garden in center field. They might have to be side by side or one on top of the other somehow, but I would highly recommend that. We've seen it happen so many times. Mac Williamson last year got propelled head first into the sidewall down the left field line after he hit the mounds down there. That's where they're proposing to possibly put the bullpens in the future.
I know they're all, they're big on growing the kale and stuff out there, but do we really need that?
No.
We've got bullpens on the playing field. Jeff Mathis, 227. That's a season high for Jeff. 2 on and 2 out. There's a strike. That curveball sneaks through the back door. Mathis has 7 hits in his last 5 games and is hitting just under 300 since the All-Star break. Chance to strike first, but Jeff is down 0-2. I guess if you were going to put the bullpens out there in dead center, you'd have to make certain that it didn't interfere with that hitter's background somehow.
Yeah, maybe raise the fence in straightaway center field.
How about a jumbo jack right now? He appears to be wearing Giants colors, though. 1-2 on Mathis. Got the strikeout. Bumgarner strands 2. He stays scoreless at AT&T Park. chances for a Gold Glove this year. Now it's time for Lowe's whole team together. How about this, Nick? Consecutive games at shortstop without an error in the National League. Ahmed is tied for first.
Outstanding.
He's number one at that position in the metric defensive runs saved. He's had a terrific year.
And even for those voters that take into consideration offense, which you should not do, Nick's putting up offensive numbers that are better than Brandon Crawford's this year. So for those misguided voters out there, they may even sway toward Nick this year.
Oh, that's just the public service from us is all that is. Here's Brandon Belt as they put the overshift on the first base side. Swing and a miss on that Buchholz curveball. Belt flying out as a pinch hitter last night, 267 and 14 home runs. Nick standing right in front of the second base umpire. Trip Gibson out there. Marte back on the outfield grass. And Buchholz quickly ahead 0-2. Belt has struggled through some injuries that have kind of drained his power a bit. Only 2 extra base hits in his last 22 games. And during that stretch, he's hit under 160. So his bat is kind of dried up here. They will leave the entire left side of the infield wide open, but that one got him an 0-2 pitch. Ouch. Belt's aboard to start the Giants second.
After back-to-back changeups to start the sequence, he goes to that hard breaking ball down and in. Unfortunately, a little bit too far in. Looked like it clipped him on the foot.
So a base runner for Crawford, who's hitting 262 with a dozen homers. He singled and scored a run last night. Came in on the Steven Duggar homer in the second against Patrick Corbin, the only runs in the ball game last night. Boy, if I had a nickel for every first pitch strike that Clay Buchholz has thrown this year, I'd have the world's biggest bag of nickels. He has been ahead in the count since he showed up. Just pounded that strike zone. Up the middle, Ahmed off the glove. Well, it's been an odd night defensively so far for both shortstops now.
And Nick had to range far up the middle that time on this grounder off the bat of Brandon Crawford. Just off the webbing of the glove there. Looked like maybe he was getting a little bit in front of himself. Was going to backhand flip onto Ketel Marte, but just didn't come up with it cleanly. That'll be ruled an error on Nick Ahmed.
Nice job by our producer, Brad the Big Dog Weimer, for jinxing Nick Ahmed. Way to go. Stay hot. 2 on, no outs for Austin Slater. Slater 278 with a home run.
Slater has never hit into a triple play in the major leagues.
Triple play in
that's
3,
all it takes.
2, 1.
We'll try anything.
Drops that curveball in there. Slater single last night. He's hit safely in 5 of his last 6. A guy that's been a problem for the Diamondbacks all year long. Oh, and 2. Brandon Belt at second. Brandon Crawford at first. How about this one? Ahmed, Marte, and they roll it. 2 double plays in 2 innings behind Buchholz. Belt in at third now, 2 outs.
old saying in this game, after you've made an error defensively, you want that next ball hit to you to make something happen. That's exactly what Nick did right there. Routine double play ball. Belt moves up to third base with 2 outs in the inning for Steven Duggar.
Duggar, the big hit last night, that 2-run homer off Patrick Corbin. His other home run in the major leagues came against Clay Buchholz earlier this month. Well, Bumgarner with 2 outs in the top half of this inning, able to strand 2, including a runner at third base. And now it's up to Buchholz to hold serve. Another first pitch strike from Clay. High in the air, deep right center field for Souza. He's in Triples Alley and he runs it down. Steven Souza Jr. never played out there before. That's a game saver, still scoreless. About Steven Souza Jr., Bob, deep into Triples Alley to get this one.
Well, they call it Triples Alley for a reason. Anything that drops in out there, it's off to the races. Steven Souza Jr. off to the races to run that one down. We talked about that before the first game of the series last night. If you can run and you're an outfielder, this place in Coors Field is a lot of fun to play for guys that can run in the outfield.
We saw Souza do that as early as spring training. He's got a great ability to run deep into those gaps. Here's Clay Buchholz, who leads off the Diamondback third against Madison Bumgarner. Trying to bunt his way on, and it's 0-2. Each team with 1 base hit, each team with 1 E6, which is odd considering the caliber of the 2 shortstops, Crawford and Ahmed. So we're off to kind of a weird start. And Bumgarner gets his 3rd strikeout.
Bumgarner hasn't been racking up the big strikeout totals like we're used to seeing in the past. He hasn't had a double-digit strikeout game all season. His high this year is 8.
As he gets a little older, approaching 30 now, he's become more of a control artist by necessity. John Jay flying out to center to lead off the ball game. He's dressed like RoboCop tonight. Got all that armor on. You'd dress like that too if you were hit by pitches 15 times in about 60 games.
If you were a horsehide magnet like John Jay.
Here's the tapper up the line for Belt. Two down for AJ. Or you could dress like this.
Well, there you go. Brandon Belt fan. Don't they call him the giraffe?
They do, yeah, good call. Although it might just dress like that all the time. It could be just a coincidence. Still waiting for that jumbo jack out there. AJ grounded out his first time up today. Once again, Giants put the shift on against him. 3 infielders on the third base side.
Jack is standing in the wrong spot for a jumbo jack. He needs to be up on top of the landing out there in right field. He's standing behind those little doors. There you see him down below the scoreboard.
Let me in. Yeah, it doesn't really serve a purpose to him have him standing behind some fencing like that. Although that is where the bar is. Here's a fly ball to pretty deep left center. Duggar near the track backing up, and he's got it. And Bumgarner works a 1-2-3 third. No score in San Francisco. There it goes. A 2-run home run in the first. It's still 2-0 Colorado over the Angels in those sweet disco Dan Ford throwback uniforms.
Is this another one of those bullpen games for the Angels? They can't find a fifth starter?
Well, they have one good pitcher and all he can do is hit. So that's been a kind of a problem.
I mean, they did that when we were in Anaheim playing the Angels. They had a bullpen day.
Catcher Nick Hundley starts the third against Clay Buchholz. 235 and 9 homers. Escobar at third. Long throw. Makes it look easy.
We hear Torrey talk a lot about guys with slow heart rates, slow heartbeat. I think Escobar's one of those guys, and he plays a position where that's not always to your advantage, but he makes all the plays, always under control.
Here's Bumgarner. We know what he can do as a hitting pitcher.
So a note here on Bumgarner, 17 home runs in his 10-year career, most in Giants franchise history. 4 consecutive seasons with at least 3 homers. How about that?
Really? Look out. That bat almost went into the Giants dugout. All right then. And almost got Derek Rodriguez, who starts here tomorrow night. 0-2 on Mad Bum. Breaking ball just missed. Oh, got the call from Adrian Johnson. That one down and away, a little bit off the corner. The play gets his first strikeout. That's not usually what you see from Adrian Johnson. He's more of a hitter's umpire. Not that time, though.
Maybe that's what Madison Bumgarner was reminding Adrian Johnson. Hey, it's not a strike for me. It shouldn't be a strike for him.
Leadoff man Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen singled his first time up. His first season in the National League West after all those years in Pittsburgh, and he's kind of been a thorn in the Diamondbacks' side, Andrew McCutchen. He's already doubled 5 times and hit 3 home runs against the D-backs this year. Buckholz ahead 0-2. He was on base twice last night. Why not go back out there again? You never know, you might get the call.
And the combination of that cutter working away from the righties and that last fastball had a little bit of sinking action. It's a deadly combination if you can command those 2 pitches on the corners.
One back down over there. Well, that was a strike a minute ago. 2-2.
Yeah, that ability to work the fastball both directions on both corners is what sent Greg Maddux to the Hall of Fame.
Here's a look from Mosscam. Well, Buchholz was ahead quickly, but now it's full 3-2. Panic on deck. He lost McCutchen. First base on balls issued by Clay Buchholz.
His first walk in the last 3 starts.
How about that, huh? Panic hit into a 4.63 his first time up tonight. And that's into right center field. Pollock over to cut it off. McCutchen heads for third. Panic hustling into second, and he's in there. Ahmed checking in with Trip Gibson, the second base umpire. That looked awfully close on the swipe tag from Nick. Let's see.
A little shock how close that was. That ball almost got out there in Triple's alley. Maybe on the ear flap of that helmet as Panic went sliding by. Take one more look right here. It looked like he brushed against the helmet. Certainly Panic was not on the bag if there was contact with the glove, and Joe Panic sliding by.
And they will challenge the safe call at second. Headsets are coming on. Trip Gibson positioned himself pretty well on that when the play was right in front of him. But it was awfully fast, and we'll talk to New York. There's a different angle.
It looked like his helmet moved when Nick's glove went by that right ear flap. It looked like the helmet moved on Joe Panic's head. Could be wishful thinking on my part, but it certainly appeared like he got a piece of him.
That's a difficult call for Trip Gibson. Even though he is right there, he's got to kind of rotate around, avoid the play, spin backwards and look almost behind. That's a tough call with guys moving that fast.
Oh, yeah, really tough call, and it all takes place about 10 or 12 feet from second base. You got to see if Panic was on the bag when Nick tried to apply the tag. Nick was out of position a little bit, diving back toward the runner. A lot to look at there for an umpire.
Oh, it's a big call. The Giants will have Longoria up there with runners at second and third unless it's overturned. D-backs trying to change their luck against this Giants ball club. They're only 7-10 versus San Francisco this year, so they've already lost the season series. After winning the season series against every National League West team last year, he did indeed get him on the helmet. The call is overturned, and we are out of the third, still scoreless at AT&T Park. And we stay 0-0 as Goldie leads off the fourth against Madison Bumgarner. Goldie struck out to end the first. He's 0 for 1. Goldie 7 games in this ballpark this year. He's hitting better than .480 here this season, with 8 extra base hits, including a couple of homers. But hitless last night, 0 for 3 with a walk.
As an offensive player, if you can boast about your numbers at AT&T Park, you're doing some serious hitting. This is a tough place for offensive players.
Well, he's played almost 70 games here, and he's a career .329 batter in this ballpark.
We talked about it last night. You get the marine layer late at night, the wind swirling around, the infield grass is like a hayfield. It's just everything stacked against the hitter to have success in this ballpark, and Goldie still rakes.
Mad Bum, I think, is losing patience quickly with Adrian Johnson. And that's his first base on balls. He's not gotten a couple of calls from the plate umpire. Brings up Eduardo Escobar.
I think that's just magnified by the fact he got rung up on a pitch that was off the plate away. And Mad Bum will let things like that get under his skin from time to time. I mean, we heard Steven Souza Jr. and Goldie talking about what a tremendous competitor he is, and sometimes he's his own worst enemy out there.
Escobar hit a liner that went off the glove of Brandon Crawford for an E6 to lead off the second. There's a strike. Escobar, a slightly higher batting average as a right-hand batter. Most of his power comes from the left side. One and two.
Bumgarner, like most good pitchers in Major League Baseball, does other things to help himself out there on the mound. He gets rid of the ball extremely quick to home plate. Very tough to get a jump and try to steal a base. And we mentioned his offensive prowess. He can help himself with the bat as well.
His control has been at times a bit erratic this year. Walk rate is double what it was last season, the highest of his career. This is popped up behind second. Panic drifting out to shallow center, calling for it. One out. Mad Bum did have a game just last month where he walked 6 guys in only 4 innings. That was at Oakland. That was kind of an outlier for him, though. Here's Souza.
Now that was across the bay against the A's. That game you mentioned, 4 innings. He only gave up 2 base hits, but walked 6 guys, gave up 3 earned runs.
Not his night. Doesn't have too many of those, however. So the walk numbers are a little bit skewed. Steven Souza looking to drive the ball like he had been earlier this month. There's the defense against him. He's a key bat in the middle of this lineup. That's boy, Bob, it's been a while since the Diamondbacks have scored. This one is headed out toward Triples Alley. McCutchen on the run, and he's got it. Well, that's about as deep as you can hit it in this ballpark and have it stay in the yard.
Anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free crunchy beef tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Not much wind out there to speak of right now. It's pretty calm for the moment.
It was blowing out throughout most of the afternoon and during both teams' batting practice this afternoon, but as you said, it died down considerably, barely moving the flags out there in right center field.
Let's see, the D-backs last scored a run when they had that 5-run third against Seattle on Sunday.
Wow.
So it's been a while. Longoria at third. That bum strands the leadoff walk, still scoreless in San Francisco. MLB.TV now available at a lower price, $49.99. Lets you watch every out-of-market regular season game and get a free subscription to MLB at Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply, so visit MLB.TV and take advantage of this special offer. Evan Longoria leads off the Giants' fourth against Clay Buchholz. D-backs have the overshift on. And he goes the other way. Souza's there. Nice running grab by Steven, who's looked good out there, covering a lot of ground both to his left and right.
The day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
Brandon Belt hit by an 0-2 pitch, his first time up tonight. Belt has gone through a couple of trips to the disabled list this year. He missed 2 weeks in June with appendicitis and was out for 3 weeks earlier this month with a bone bruise in his right knee. He's only been back for 12 games and has not hitting under 190 since he came off the DL.
On this day of open stances and all kinds of bat waggles, Brandon Belt is about as still as any hitter in baseball. He'll get into that batter's box. There's no bat waggle. There's no weight shift. He's ready to hit. He doesn't even move until Clay Buchholz starts his delivery to home plate.
That fastball's up, 2-2. Long run for Jay. Ahmed on the run as well, and Nick has got it in foul ground. 2 outs. And the batter is Brandon Crawford. Well, Crawford's bat has just disappeared in his last 15 games. His batting average is 135. He has not hit really for 2 months now. And of course, he bangs one into right field. Souza has it on the track, a 2-out single. Here's Slater.
You get the feeling that Brandon Crawford has at least one more real good run in him before the end of the season. Hopefully it'll come against the Dodgers.
That'd be nice. Something bad happened to the Dodgers. They're rolling along in Texas right now, beating up on the Rangers. Slater hit into a double play his first time up. Dodgers have an 8-2 lead at Texas. They're in the 9th inning. LA with 15 hits tonight. There's the strike. Rockies still have a 2-0 lead at the Angels. They're in the 4th. Pressure's on. Not going to get too many gifts like you got last night when the Rockies bullpen collapsed again in that 8th inning in Anaheim. Yes, he went. Corey Blazer down there. It's 0-2.
Top of the 10th at Wrigley Field. The Mets and the Cubs tied at 1 in the 10th, and it's a rain delay.
We now present this old Cub.
That's right.
That's where you and Lenny would have to tap dance for 3 or 4 hours, right?
Yeah, the games that were on WGN, they did some market research and found that our rain delay theater on WGN got better ratings than any primetime programming on any other network. So we would have to stay and fill the rain delay.
Did you have prepared material?
Oh, no. But we had friends in the booth next door. Mike Krukow came over one time and we had a lengthy delay and the Giants were in town, and I just told Krukow, tell me some stories. And then just let him roll for about 15 minutes.
You had some good ones before the game today, in fact.
Oh, boy. I love talking to those guys. Dwayne Kuiper, I mean, as good as they get, play-by-play guy in this business, and just one of the funniest men I've ever been around in my life. He's got a boatload of pictures on his computer of him upside down at second base getting wiped out on double play slides.
No Chase Utley rule in them days.
No, no.
No, he didn't. Buck holds 50 pitches, 33 strikes. He's walked 1, he struck out 1. He's had 2 double plays turned behind him. He has hit a batter. There's a bouncer to short for Nick, and they go the short way for the force on Crawford. We head to the 5th, still no score.
Up, no score in the ball game as we head to the top half of the fifth. Time to take a look at this day in baseball history, brought to you by Geico. We go back to the '99 season. As near as anybody can tell, the 27th time in Major League history two knuckleballers hook up, Tim Wakefield and Steve Sparks. That was a 9-7 victory for the Angels in that ball game.
Marte, that's a fair ball by Longoria and way up the left field line. And Cattell cruises into second with a stand-up double, just the Diamondbacks' second hit against Madison Bumgarner. Marte has them both. He's 2 for 2.
Gotta cash it in. Diamondbacks have had some traffic on the bases over the last 2 or 3 ball games. They just haven't been able to come up with that big hit to either move the guy 90 feet and set it up for the hitter behind, or go ahead and drive him in yourself.
Diamondbacks have not scored a run now in their last 18 innings.
I'll correct myself on that baseball history. The Red Sox beat the Angels 7-6, and I looked up the box score. 1 pass ball the entire game.
Get out of here.
No wild pitches, 1 pass ball.
Do we know who the catchers were? Gotta look that up.
Veritek for the Red Sox. I'm not sure who was catching for the Angels that night.
That's interesting because Veritek couldn't catch Wakefield.
Yeah.
They had to go get Doug Mirabelli to catch that knuckleball. Mathis sends McCutchen back to the track. Here comes Marte, and he's in at third with 1 out.
Productive out. Move the runner. Get him to third base. Set it up for Clay Buchholz in the top of the order. And don't forget, we saw Clay Buchholz show bunt in his first at bat, trying to bunt for a base hit in that situation.
Infield comes in for the Giants. Marte at third, 1 out. Buchholz struck out his first time up. Another first pitch strike from Madison Bumgarner. Bumgarner through the first 4 innings, 10 of 15 first pitch strikes. Clay Buchholz 11 of 15 first pitch strikes. Snuck that breaking ball in through the front door, and it's 0-2. The strikeout. That's the 4th for Bumgarner. So it's up to John Jay. Once again, Diamondbacks need a 2-out RBI knock. Jay so far 0 for 2. Now the 3rd time through the order for Mad Bum. John Jay coming off his 3-hit night last night. He's in left field. David Peralta not in the starting lineup. And even though it's a left-on-left matchup, Jay's had a lot of luck against Mad Bum in his career. And now 11 for 32. Jay this year has been a .250 hitter versus left-hand pitcher. Trying to get Marte home from third with 2 outs. Three and 1. A.J. Pollock would be next. Inside, he lost Jay. Now they're on the corners with 2 outs for EJ. Second walk issued by Mad Bum. AJ has grounded out, flied out.
Boy, just missed that ball in his last at bat. A long fly ball just to the left to straightaway center that Stephen Duggar was able to run down and end that top half of the 3rd inning.
AJ, as Bob mentioned, has homered off Bumgarner 3 times in his career. 2 outs. Marte's at 3rd, Jay's at 1st. "60 pitches, 39 strikes for Madison Bumgarner. He has walked 2, struck out 4. Given up just 2 hits. Boy, that was not a bad pitch. Bumgarner asking Adrian Johnson where was that one, but Hundley had to move so much to get it. I think that fooled the plate umpire. Didn't get the call. That was right at the knees.
And Bumgarner going to that breaking ball even more with a runner at 3rd base in this inning. Struck out Buchholz with a sweeping slider that caught the inside part of the plate. A couple of breaking balls to John Jay.
Yeah, we've seen a whole bunch tonight from Mad Bum. Here's the 1-1. That one misses away. 2 balls and a strike. Boy, Bumgarner is getting visibly upset now. I don't know what the beef was there. That was off the plate.
He might have had an argument on the pitch before, but that last one was off-speed pitch. Never did get back to the outside corner.
Two and 1 for AJ. Yes, he checks, says Corey Blazer. 3 balls and a strike. Goldie on deck. Now that's a matchup we'd like to see with the bases full. It's full. This will get John Jay started from first base. Belt will play behind the runner. 2 on, 2 outs, 3 balls and 2 strikes. There goes Jay. Another breaking ball. Dave McKay coaching at first. Play on at first, and boy, Belt snuck in there behind John Jay. Bumgarner almost threw it away. Boy, I don't know. All kinds of bad things can happen there with a runner at third. That doesn't make any sense.
Just trying to take advantage of John Jay's aggressiveness. Full count pitch. He's going to be running.
There he goes. Fly ball to center for Stephen Duggar. And the Diamondbacks have now gone 19 consecutive innings without scoring a run. Our latest Cup of Coffee episode with special guest Nick Ahmed. It debuts this Sunday. Cup of Coffee presented by First Watch Restaurants, the Daytime Cafe, Sunday, September 2nd, after the D-backs and the Dodgers on Fox Sports Arizona. Special guest Nick Ahmed. Steven Duggar, the rookie center fielder, leads off the Giant fifth against Clay Buchholz.
I hope you guys tipped that waitress. She was taking great care of you. I got a chance to see that clip earlier.
They were wonderful hosts at First Watch. Everybody left with armfuls of food, and food is unbelievable.
And the people are even better.
Yeah, they were great. Really fun. Nick actually lived across the street, he was telling us, from a First Watch where we actually shot that particular episode up in North Scottsdale, and said, yeah, we'd driven by a million times, always meant to go in, never did. And Souza had been there all the time. He's a regular. Ketel Marte has it at second. One down. Oh, Bob, 19 innings without a run. That's a long time.
Boy, that's a really long time. And they've had some opportunities over the course of those 19 innings. Not a lot of opportunities, but that last half inning, a perfect example. Leadoff double. They move him to third base. Unfortunately, it was for the pitcher, Clay Buchholz, but just not able to come up with that timely hit. Timely hits.
Well, we've got another tremendous pitchers duel going. Diamondbacks with only 2 hits. Giants with just 3 against Buchholz. Here's the catcher, Nick Hundley, who grounded out his first time up. He hits one right by Escobar and lines it into left. A 1-out single, and here comes Bumgarner.
Hey fans, playing now to catch one of the biggest matchups of the season at Chase Field. The D-backs against the Chicago Cubs. 3-game series, September 17th, 18th, and 19th. This is a series you do not want to miss. Secure your D-backs Cubs seats now at dbacks.com.
Here's the pitcher, Bumgarner. That Cubs series is going to be enormous. We got to get D-backs fans out there. We always have a lot of Cub fans. In fact, we got a letter from one Diamondback fan, Carla Zwald. Carla lives in Mesa. She says, I live in Cub country, about 1.5 miles from their training field. She's 83 years old, watches every single D-backs game. She got a rescue dog and she named it Gracie after Mark Grace. So Carla Zwald, thanks for your letter, Carla, from Mesa, out there in Cub country. And the Cubs are coming into town soon. Bumgarner struck out looking his first time up. The only strikeout so far for Clay Buchholz. 1-2.
I got a letter here from Sal Salinas. He and his wife Nan, big fans. He turned Nan into a baseball fan, and she's learned some of the phrases, such as "he's a bum." I quote.
Wait, is that a phrase?
But he corrects. You know, I knew this, but we incorrectly said that a ball would gather farther on a dry day as opposed to a day with a lot of humidity. But the reality is, the more moisture in the air, the better the ball will carry.
Swing and a miss. 2 down. Is that a scientific fact?
Yes, it is. And I've mentioned this book in the past. Sterling professor of physics Robert K. Adair had a book called The Physics of Baseball, and it talked about cork bats and how a curveball breaks, and it did mention humidity and the effect it has on a batted ball. So I should have known that. But thank you, Sal. I do appreciate you correcting me. And keep up the good work, Nan. They're not all bums.
He's yelling at the TV. McCutchen has singled and walked. D-backs have the shift on again. Another first pitch strike from Clay Buchholz. That has been one of his big MOs this year. Throws a lot of first pitch strikes, spends most of the games working ahead in the count. Stays away from the middle of the plate. Just moves that cut fastball around, varies the velocity on his cutter. And he's got the changeup and the curveball to mix things up, keeps guys off balance. Gets a lot of called strikes, especially with that curveball. Just always attacking the strike zone.
You know, fans have heard me mention pitchers leading a hitter out of the strike zone over the years. And in order to do that, it really helps to be ahead in the count. That's when you're going to get hitters to be a little bit more aggressive on borderline pitches that just dip out of the strike zone. And that's what Clay Buchholz has done so successfully since coming to the Diamondbacks.
And he's really putting together a special season. Behind here, though, 2-1. Spins McCutchen around. 3 balls and a strike. Panic the on deck man for the Giants. It's funny, Clay was ahead of McCutchen in the 3rd and lost him on a 3-2 pitch. Now he's behind here, 3-1. Nope, he's walked McCutchen for the 2nd time tonight. And the Giants have 2 on and 2 out for Panic, who singled his last time up.
Panic single back in the 3rd inning, ended the 3rd inning. He tried to stretch it into a double. A.J. Pollock made that nice play in center field and fired it into Nick Ahmed. And after a quick review on videotape, they ruled him out at second base.
When McCutchen has seen 19 pitches from Buchholz tonight, 11 of them balls. He's walked twice and singled. Behind now on Panic, 1-0.
If you had to pick out a flaw on Clay Buchholz tonight, just hasn't been able to command that changeup as good as we've seen him do it in the past.
Oh, it's interesting. That happened to him, Bob, 2 starts ago against the Padres. You see, I just didn't have the changeup. They went to the curveball a lot more often as the game wore on. Changeup was back last week against the Angels. So maybe that's the case again tonight.
That was a changeup right there that drifted well off that outside corner, but Joe Panic took a hack at it and fouled it off. Clay Buchholz right back in the count.
In fact, he said his changeup against the Angels was his best pitch. He threw a lot of good ones. Well, Bumgarner able to strand 2 runners in the top half of this inning. Now it's up to Buchholz to return serve.
Now with the catcher Nick Hundley running out there at second base. Big at bat in the ball game right here. Diamondbacks don't want to take any chances. Go over the signs. We've seen this happen many times this season where Jeff Mathis will go back behind the plate and not even hang a sign. They're out there right now verbally talking about the sequence of pitches they want to throw to Panic here on the 2-1 count. Jeff Mathis even puts down a sign.
This is the effect of all the video the teams use now. That's why we ended up with a limit on mound visitations, because teams have become ultra paranoid about having their signs stolen through the use of video. Let's see. No sign.
No, you shake your head. Yeah, we talked about it. Go ahead and throw it.
Here's the 2-1. Panic has always been a very difficult hitter to strike out. He's a really good contact man up there. Does not strike out very often at all. Longoria would be next. to right center. Souza is there, and Buchholz strands 2 through 5 in San Francisco. Still no score. Scoreless in San Francisco. Hey, college football is back on FS1. It's ASU's home opener. They face off against UTSA. The Sun Devils, Saturday, 7:30 at FS1. Or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. Go Herm. Goldie has struck out and walked. Diamondbacks against Madison Bumgarner so far with only 2 hits, both of them by Ketel Marte. Bumgarner has walked 2 and struck out 4. Goldie starts it off in the 6th. That's down the line and just foul. Almost right over the bag. Brian Gorman down there at third, the crew chief.
Remember, the ball can go over the base and then bounce into foul territory and be a fair ball, but that one clearly in foul territory. Brian Gorman right on top of it.
There's a drive to left. Slater will play it off the wall. And Goldie hits a rocket for a long single. Well, that ball was blasted.
It really was. Hit so hard it hit that wall and bounced right back to Austin Slater. Goldie wasn't even to first base yet. Slater had the ball coming back to the infield already. Just an absolute bullet. Watch that ball ricochet off the wall right back to Slater. He gets off a strong throw to second to hold Goldie to a leadoff single.
And Goldie has already extended his franchise record. He's now reached base safely in 40 consecutive road games. Leadoff man aboard for Eduardo Escobar. Boy, it's been a steady diet of sliders and curveballs from Mad Bum tonight. Now working his way through the D-backs order for the 3rd time. Did that one get him? Somehow it avoided Escobar. 2-0.
That particular instinct right there to get out of the way of a thrown baseball, John Jay is lacking.
He missed that gene somehow.
Yeah, John Jay would have taken that right on the outside of his left knee and headed on down to first base.
Well, Mad Bum falling behind is 3-0. Souza on deck. Steven lined out deep to right center his last time up. First 3-0 count tonight for Madison Bumgarner, and there's the strike. Escobar 25 games with the Diamondbacks since he was acquired from the Twins. He's hit .287 with 4 home runs. And there's ball 4. And again, Bumgarner is in a jam. 2 runners on, just like the 5th. This time, though, with no outs.
A D-backs home run tonight means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack-in-the-Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
A chance for Souza. He chased McCutchen deep into that notch in right center. Triples alley his last time up. He's 0 for 2. That draws Longoria in a bit at third. "19 innings now without a run for the Diamondbacks. A great chance right here. Souza again shows bunt, pulls back. It's 2-0. He's getting Longoria and Bell to bite on the corners. They're both rushing in. Tony Perez-Chica flashing the signs at third.
Yeah, not only that, but Joe Panik is running over to cover first base as Brandon Belt charges. Brandon Crawford's breaking for second base. All kinds of holes in the infield.
This is out to center. Here comes Duggar. And everybody has to stay put. 1 out. Nick Ahmed 0 for 2. Entire Giants infield with the exception of Belt huddled up on the mound right now. Adrian Johnson records that mound visit. Bumgarner 76 pitches, 46 for strikes. He's got Goldie at second, Escobar at first, and 1 out. The Ball Dudes here in San Francisco. Some veteran Giants fans there. They've got the overcoats, the scarves.
They probably came to watch the Ball Dudes. They want to be Ball Dudes.
Who doesn't? Yeah, we get a Ball Dude bio every day. They have a little mini biography on all their Ball Dudes every night. We'd give you that guy's life story, but really, what's the point?
I believe it's a father-son combo tonight. I have to unfold my sheet here.
Oh, you have it, huh?
Yeah, I had to use it to prop up my monitor there. Well, yeah, Mike Peckner and Ben Peckner.
The Peckner family.
Yeah. Mike is 70 and Ben is 31.
Anything else?
Well, Ben, the younger of the two, is a locomotive engineer for Amtrak.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
And Mike Peckner used to be a meteorologist, a couple of local TV stations and one of the local radio stations.
He was a TV weatherman.
Yeah.
Now he's a Ball Dude.
Yeah.
See, that's good stuff right there. Is it hard to be a weather dude in San Francisco? Well, it's not going to be very warm today, and
it's microclimates, you know.
Microclimates. Look at you.
Over in the East Bay, it's 95 degrees. Over here on this side of the bay, it's 65.
Wow, that's a nice pull.
Down in San Jose, it's 87. Over on the coast, the fog will roll in the afternoon, and everything will cool down.
I just don't know how to get to San Jose. Two and two on Nick. Ahmed, base hit. Tony Parachica has to stop Goldie, and they're loaded for Marte, who's got a couple of hits already against Mad Bum. Marte single in the second, he doubled in the fifth.
Sequence started with a curveball. Nick pulled that one foul. Comes right back with a cut fastball up in the zone. He fouled that one off too. Misses away with a curve, misses up with a fastball, and then a breaking ball that just stayed in the heart of the plate a little bit too long. Nick's able to pull it into left field to load him up. Our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game.
Well, the best scoring chance they've had certainly in a while, the Diamondbacks. Bases full, one down. Trying to snap this 19-inning scoreless drought. Longoria coming home. They get one and they can't get two. They get the force on Goldie. Marte safe at first.
Ball leads Longoria right into his throw to home. Fortunately, Nick Hundley pulls Brandon Belt off the bag down there. The Giants unable to complete the double play.
Well, it's up to Jeff Mathis. Jeff is 0 for 2. He has struck out and flied out. First pitch breaking ball again from Bumgarner. Jeff has been a hitter lately, 7 hits in his last 5 games. Center field, Duggar. Diamondbacks bases loaded and cannot score. That's 20 consecutive scoreless innings. Buchholz have delivered. Scoreless in the home half of the 6th at AT&T Park. Fans, a reminder, you can get $15 lower level tickets to next week's games against the Padres. That's Monday, September 3rd or Tuesday the 4th by using our D-backs Labor Day discount. Get your discount tickets right now, dbacks.com/labor. A lower level ticket for $15. Torey Lovullo, his team had a chance there. Bases full, 1 out. But we stay 0-0 as Longoria leads off the bottom of the 6th against Buchholz. Longo has lined out to center and lined out to right. 0 for 2. Still hitless in the series. And another first pitch strike for Buchholz. Longoria's had a quiet bat lately. Last 20 games, he's hitting under 180. Just 243 on the year. Broke his left hand. He was hit by a pitch from the Marlins' Dan Straley in the middle of June and missed more than a month. Escobar charges in at third and cleans that up, 1 away. Here's Brandon Belt. Belt's another guy whose bat has gone quiet for the Giants. 2 extra base hits in his last 22 games. The power has kind of vanished on him. They put the shift on. 3 defenders on the first base side.
Clay's tried to throw that curveball on the inside part of the plate and break it down and in almost like a back foot slider to Brandon Belt. He just refuses to bite at that pitch.
Belt has become over the years a very patient hitter. Walk rate's been way up last couple of years. That one misses in, 2-0. Well, he's working on a beard that might rival Archie Bradley. Not quite there yet, but he's in the neighborhood. There's a strike, 2-1. Couple of Texans going head to head here. Brandon Belt, born in Nacogdoches, Texas. AJ broke back. He got a bad read that time, and he's able to recover nicely. 2 down in the 6th.
Sometimes a hitter's history will make you respond back when you see a big swing from a guy like Brandon Belt. You see that ball come off his bat in the air. Your first instinct is to freeze or maybe even go back a step or two, but AJ had enough speed to make up for the misjudgment and made it a relatively easy play.
Yeah, he was a couple of steps back toward the wall there before he realized his mistake. Here's Crawford. Singled in the 4th. Just dots that corner down and away, 0-1. Escobar has it at third. And Clay Buchholz works a scoreless 6th. It's still 0-0. Dugout looking for some offense. 0-0 in the 7th. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink. The series finale here tomorrow night for you. Diamondback Live pregame show at 6:30 on Fox Sports Arizona. Zach Godley against Derek Rodriguez. We've seen Rodriguez this year, and he's looked good. The number's 6-1 with a 2.30 ERA.
Yeah, Giants really like Rodriguez as well as Andrew Suarez, a couple of young pitchers that figure to be in their rotation, along with Chris Stratton for quite some time.
Buchholz leads off the 7th against Bumgarner. He has punched out twice. Hey, you look at what Rodriguez has done. There's a number that's really hard to believe, but it's true. Since June the 1st, June 1, so for the last 3 months, the Giants team ERA is the best in baseball. That's how they've remained in the discussion, at least in terms of the postseason. Since June the 1st, their team ERA is 3.35, and it's been guys like Derek Rodriguez that have picked up the slack there without Cueto and Samardzija right now. Bumgarner's doing his thing, of course. And the Giants this year, if you count a couple of position players, have had to use 26 pitchers this year. That's the most they've ever had to use in a season in the entire 60 years since they moved from the Polo Grounds. That one just missed, and Buchholz has worked the count full 3-2. So even without Cueto and Samardzija, those are two pretty serious investments. The pitching has been there for the Giants this year. And that is strike 3. 5th strikeout for Mad Bum. 3 of them have been Buchholz. John Jay walked his last time up. Bumgarner has walked 3 in the ball game. Each team, no runs, 4 hits, and 1 error. Mad Bum now over 90 pitches. His spot would be due up 4th in the bottom half of this inning, so this might be it. Still in a rain delay in Wrigley Field.
Actually, I think it's been suspended.
Yeah,
they're going to complete it tomorrow before the regularly scheduled game.
I guess they ran out of stories.
Hey fans, did you know that you can get $2 concession items at every D-backs game? Look for the value items logo to get a value hot dog, popcorn, or Pepsi for just $2. Visit dbacks.com/value.
Big games coming up in September. John Jay punches one foul down the line. You've got division leaders coming into Chase Field. We mentioned that Cubs series. September 17th, 18th, and 19th. The Braves are in. They lead the NL East. They're in for 4. Starting a week from Thursday at Chase Field. Then, of course, you've got games against the Padres and the Rockies and the Dodgers. Slater's in left. It's off the glove. And rolls to the wall. Jay a little slow to advance. He finally picks it up, and he's just in there at third. John Jay not running hard, assuming, as we all did, that Slater was going to get under that and catch it easily. Instead, he clanked it on the warning track.
Well, occasionally you can blame a play like this on the wind, but the wind is barely blowing right now. Slater just got turned around, got his glove up in front of his face. I think he lost sight of the ball momentarily right there and just doesn't make the catch. Then he compounds it by slipping as he went after the baseball. That allowed John Jay to make it to third base.
Yeah, John at that point had basically stopped at second, saw the ball roll behind Slater and took an extra 90 feet. So here's another good chance to score. Jay at third, one down. Here's Pollock, who's 0 for 3. Infield in for the Giants. Dodgers have beaten Texas 8-4. A win over the Rangers. The Rockies have a 2-1 lead over the Angels in LA. They're in the 7th. Bullpen starts to get busy for the Giants. There's Sam Dyson, the right-hander. Bumgarner at 98 pitches, 60 strikes. Three and 0 on AJ. Goldie on deck.
We saw David Peralta with a green light 3-0 in the first inning last night with a couple of runners on base. See if AJ Pollock gets a green light here and see if he gets a pitch to his liking.
Diamondbacks had first and third, 2 outs in the second, had a leadoff walk in the fourth. Couple of runners on in the fifth, bases loaded, 1 out in the sixth. But we're still at zeros. 100 pitches for Bumgarner. And there is the 4th walk issued by Mad Bum tonight. Here comes Goldie.
I don't think Dyson's had enough time to get loose to come in and face Paul Goldschmidt right here unless the Giants do some kind of stalling. It looks like Goldie's going to get the at bat against Mad Bum.
He has struck out, walked, and hit a rocket single off the wall in left his last time up. First and third, 1 out. There's the strike 0-1. (102 pitches, 62 strikes. He has walked 4 and struck out 5. Panic behind the bag at second. Escobar will be the hitter with 2 down. John Jay's at third, AJ Pollock's at first. Just misses Anthony's 1-0. Dyson's not really throwing down there in the Giant bullpen. He's just kind of standing around. Either he's immediately ready or he's in no hurry to get hot. That is, look out, John Jay. Foul at third. There's Dyson. He's kind of chilling down there. No sense of urgency at all. Every once in a while, he'll toss one down. Well, Bumgarner got out of a bases loaded 1-out mess in the 6th. Trying to put up another 0 here in the 7th with runners in the corners and 2 outs. There goes Pollock up the middle. Panic is there. Resets. And the drought continues. 0-0.
Of the 7th, Todd Walsh, welcome back. And as we mentioned in the pregame show, a roster move today by the Arizona Diamondbacks. And guys, who knows, it may figure into the game late here. You see that Matt Andriese has been optioned down to Visalia. They're trying to lengthen him out, bring him back after September 1st for possibly long relief. But look who's back. Christian Walker, recalled from Reno, and as that first pitch comes in, guys, I talked to him today about just what last year's experience meant to him. Of course, he was a part of things in that drive to the postseason last year, late in the season. Some critical at bats, came up with some big hits, and he just talked about the confidence that he has. And Bob, one of the hardest jobs late in the year, being a pinch hitter, as I'm sure you know. And there's a shot up the middle for a base hit. So Walker will deal with that and build on that. And as Torey Lovullo said about him, hey, look, you know what? The one difference maker that he has that separates him from the field is upstairs. A smart guy who has certainly built from what he had a year ago to now. Maybe we'll see him here tonight.
Well, Clay Buchholz coming off a 9-pitch 6th inning. Gives up the leadoff single to Austin Slater. Just the 5th hit for the Giants. Here's Steven Duggar 0 for 2. Dyson will make his way back down to the Giant bullpen. Escobar in on the grass at 3rd. Duggar shows bunt, pulls back, takes ball 1. You've got Hundley on deck, the catcher pitcher spot behind him. And Dyson warming up, so you got to figure they'll be hitting for Bumgarner here. And the Diamondbacks bullpen will get busy as well. Andrew Chafin starts walking down there. Duggar's hit safely in 4 straight games. 6 hits and 4 RBIs in his last 4. Had the big home run last night, of course. That good changeup, 1-1. Buchholz is only at 82 pitches here in the 7th inning. 52 for strikes. Escobar still in at third. Goldie holding Slater on the bag at first. Here's the 1-1.
Back-to-back change-ups.
Clay Buchholz has developed an enormous amount of trust in all the information he gets with the Diamondbacks, both from the catchers and the coaching staff. Dan Herron involved in that, of course, putting together some of these pitching plans. He has taken to it like a fish to water. This is away, 2-2. There's Bumgarner, jacket on with Bruce Bochy. He pulled a rabbit out of a hat a couple of times here tonight. Somehow has put goose eggs up on the board, even though he's been in trouble most of the night. Not all of his own making, that key error by Slater there in the top half of this inning. He did walk 4 batters.
Slater will run. He's a perfect 5 out of 5 in his stolen base attempts this year. The Giants as a team don't run a whole lot, but Slater has base stealing speed. So Buchholz, as usual, going to keep a close eye on him over there.
Called, strike 3. Adrian Johnson rings up Duggar, 3rd strikeout for Clay Buchholz.
They started this sequence with a curveball that misses just off the plate away, and then back-to-back changeups to get swinging strikes from Duggar. Misses with a fastball up and then goes right back up with a changeup again. Very unusual to get a call on a high changeup, but Adrian Johnson rings him up. Our nationwide vision center's eye on the game.
Nick Hundley, the catcher, has grounded out and singled. Hunter Pence has come out of the on-deck circle. He would hit for Bumgarner. Out to right field. Souza coming in. Still running hard. 2 down. Here comes Pence. It's a big ovation here. 222 and 2 home runs. Pence 0 for 3 in a start in left field last night. So that ends Bumgarner's night. Slater at first, 2 outs. Mathis wants a word. Here comes Mike Butcher and the entire Diamondback infield.
Hey, Todd just mentioned a moment ago the Christian Walker up from AAA. Minor leaguers, we got some of our affiliates headed for postseason play. AA Jackson won the Southern League North first half and will start their division round on September 5th. Short season Hillsboro won the Northwest League South first and second half. They start their playoffs on the 5th as well. The rookie Arizona League Diamondbacks won the East first half. They play tonight actually against the Indians. Single A Visalia is currently tied for first place with 7 games to play in the Cal League. Kane County looking for a wild card spot in that Midwest League with 7 games left to play. So good luck to all those guys.
Yeah, and if you're thinking way ahead, Arizona Fall League, a lot of the Diamondbacks' top prospects will be in the Fall League this year. So Salt River Fields in October and November is going to be a great place to be as the Arizona Fall League gets started with Steve Cobb and Paul Jensen. So here's Pence, 1 on and 2 outs, no score in the 7th. Just missed the corner there. Hunter Pence as a pinch hitter this year. 7 for 33. That's a .212 batting average, 1 home run. He has played primarily off the bench in what may be his final year in San Francisco. Contract is up after this season. Got that wide strike call from Adrian Johnson, 1-1. Breaking ball didn't offer, says Corey Blazer at first. 2 balls and a strike. Archie Bradley has joined Andrew Chafin in the Diamondback bullpen with Buchholz about to throw pitch number 90. Slater holds on the 2-1. That one is in there, 2-2.
That changeup has always been a good pitch against Hunter Pence. He is so aggressive and so anxious to swing that bat. Off-speed pitches have been his kryptonite throughout his career.
.90 pitches, 57 strikes. 2-2 on Hunter Pence. In the air, right field for Souza. Still not much wind out there. Buchholz 7 scoreless. We head to the 8th. We start the 8th inning here at AT&T Park. And fans, don't forget, if you can't watch the games on your TV, then stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. It's brought to you locally by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the free app and take Fox Sports Arizona and your D-backs with you wherever you go. Well, Bumgarner's night is over. Here is the right-hander Sam Dyson, who leads the Giants with 62 appearances. That's tied for 3rd most in the National League. He'll face Souza, Ahmed, and Marte, 5, 6, and 7 in the Diamondbacks' 8th inning. D-backs scoreless drought has now reached 21 consecutive innings without a run. They have had plenty of chances here tonight. Souza starts it off. He's 0 for 3. Rockies and Angels are in the 8th inning in Los Angeles. Colorado has a 3-1 lead. Only a game behind the Diamondbacks NL West lead. Dodgers have already won. They beat the Rangers at Texas 8-4. So LA has picked up a half game so far. Fastball's a strike, 0-1. Steven has flied out deep to right center field tonight. He lined out to center his last time up. So he's poked it out there a couple of times, and right now he's stuck in a 3-for-25 skid up there.
You look at this Diamondbacks lineup and you think over the course of 21 innings somebody would step on one. Somebody'd hit one out of the ballpark.
Keep waiting for that moonshot to come out of nowhere, and it just hasn't happened for some reason. Goldie's single that he hit off the wall and left to start the 6th was an absolute missile. Well, that was a low line drive off the wall. Souza drove one deep to right center that sent McCutchen back to that 421 notch in Triple's alley, but that was just allowed out. And Souza strikes out to start the 8th.
Sam Dyson featuring that power sinker in the mid-90s. There it is right there. That one in 94 started down the middle, bottomed out. The second one just misses low. That one on the inside corner, and then another one down at the bottom of the zone. All those in the mid-90s with a lot of late movement. Our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game.
Nick Ahmed has one of the 4 Diamondbacks base hits tonight, a single in the 6th. How about that moon over the bay here? That's gorgeous. Yeah. That's no moon, it's a space station. One and one on Ahmed.
I'm supposed to tell you that those are not the droids you're looking for.
You can go about your business. Move along. This one has a chance to bounce throw, and it gets by Crawford. Nick Ahmed's second hit tonight, a 1-out single. I'm not comfortable with all these Star Wars references ahead of the Death Star that waits for us in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Earplugs.
Marte has singled and doubled tonight, 2 for 3. You've got Marte up there, Mathis the on-deck man, and the pitcher spot behind him. Archie Bradley now alone in the Diamondback bullpen, but in no rush to get hot for the moment. That was a pretty good pitch right there, but Adrian Johnson may be fooled by the movement of Hundley's glove.
And no activity in the Giants bullpen. Torrey does have some good options off the bench tonight, either side. Got Descalso, Peralta, and Avila from the left-hand side of the plate, Murphy and Christian Walker from the right side.
Here's the 1-0. This is out to short left. Slater coming in. He's got that one to a big round of applause after he clanked one earlier in the ballgame. 2 down for Mathis. Now Jeff is going to go back into the dugout, and David Peralta To get a left-hand bat in there, will bat for Mathis. So Peralta will be used as the pinch hitter here, with Ahmed at first and 2 outs and a scoreless 8th. Well, you got 3 catchers on the roster for a reason. If you got a spot like this and you need something, maybe that Sutton home run you were mentioning a moment ago, this would be the chance to get it. David at 302 with 25 homers.
Yeah, for me, that was always one of the advantages of carrying 3 catchers. You could ambush the other team, pinch hit for the catcher as early as the 5th or 6th inning in the ballgame if you've got a chance to push across a run.
And maybe Bruce Bochy did get ambushed. No left-hander warming up in his bullpen. Fastball is low, 1-0. David started last night. He was 0 for 4. That snapped a 6-game hitting streak. No one in the on-deck circle for the Diamondbacks right now. Pitcher spot is due up. There's Buchholz on the top step with a batting helmet on. Bradley warming up in the bullpen.
Dyson with that power sinker, he's not an easy guy to elevate the ball. Because of that late movement down toward the dirt, invariably you end up hitting the top half of the baseball. But David has proven himself to be a real good low ball hitter.
This is out to right center, and that ball is down. Duggar over to cut it off. Ahmed flying into third. He's going to run through the sign. Here's the throw, and they got him at home. Tony Perez-Chica had his hands up over his head at third, and Ahmed is cut down at the plate. It stays 0-0. Ahmed cut down at home to win the top half of the 8th inning. D-backs continue their series with the Giants. Coverage tomorrow starts at 6:30. Starting with D-backs live pregame show. Fox Sports Arizona streams live on Fox Sports Go. D-backs 2019 season schedule. Download MLB Ballpark app now at dbacks.com.
Yeah, Tony Perez-Chica had the stop sign up from the moment Nick rounded second base, but I think the frustration is being felt down there in that dugout. The players, if you think we're frustrated and if you fans think you're frustrated, imagine what these players are going through. And Nick just made up his mind, I'm going to score. Ran right through the stop sign and was gunned out at home plate.
Trying to make something happen. Archie Bradley on to face the top of the Giants order. Andrew McCutchen, who was singled and walked twice. Archie's 63rd appearance of the year. McCutchen, Panic, Longoria due up in the Giant 8th. Will Smith, the left-hander, starts to get loose in the San Francisco bullpen. John Ryan Murphy takes over behind the plate after Peralta pinch hit for Mathis. This is in the air, deep to center. AJ has room. Bob, I think that at this point last year and into the early part of September, it seemed like a playoff spot was not guaranteed, but pretty well in hand. You figured at worst they get the second wild card. They had a little bit of breathing room. This is a one-game, check the standings every 10 minutes kind of a deal. And the Diamondbacks over the last week or so maybe playing a little tight right here. I think nerves are becoming a factor here as we head into September. That lead is only one game. There's panic. Guys pressing, just trying to make plays instead of, the old cliche, let the game come to you, stay within yourself.
Don't try to do too much.
Whichever one you like. I don't know if Nick saw something on that relay. Maybe he thought he could make it, but Tony had his hands way over his head down there at third, and Ahmed just kept on coming.
If you think about it, it took two good throws to get him.
Yeah.
Duggar to the cutoff man to home plate.
That's one of the things they like about Duggar. He's got real good range out there in center. He was able to get to that ball before it got to the wall in right center field. 3-1 is fouled away. Longoria on deck. That was 8-6-2 on the putout as Brandon Crawford made the relay throw home to get Ahmed at the plate. The 3-2 to Panic. Ball 4. Longoria 0 for 3 tonight. 0 for 6 in the series at .243 on the year. Archie, as he always is in there to face the sharp end of the stick. Giants batting order loaded with their best hitters up top. And that's Archie's gig. Bullpen quiet for the moment for the Diamondbacks. Panic holding in first. That fastball misses in. It's 2-0. Well, he walked Panic. Now he's behind on Longoria. He's got Brandon Belt on deck. Archie 13 pitches, only 5 strikes. Quick throw over and Panic is back in time. Jose Aguasil coaching at first.
That's a good time to pick right there as you're getting your sign. Occasionally that base runner at first will get out there and try to peek in at the catcher's signs. That's a good time to pick over to first base.
Longoria taking all the way. Brandon Belt would be next. Fastball just missed up and away. Couple of 1-out walks. 2 on and 1 down for Belt. Mike Butcher coming out with a message from Torey Lovello.
Yeah, stop walking, guys. I definitely want to go over Brandon Belt, exactly how they want to attack him. Belt is 1 for 11 lifetime against Archie Bradley with 5 punch-outs.
And Archie's fastball command has at times this year come and gone, along with his faith in that curveball.
I think Alan Hansen has come in to pinch run at second base for Joe Panic. No, that's Darno. Excuse me, Chase Darno.
So Darno runs for Panic, and we presume he'll stay in the game and play second base. So here we go. Archie in a jam, 2 on, 1 out. Belt has been hit by a pitch. He's popped up and flied out 0 for 2. Darno at second and Longoria at first. Angels trying to come back in LA. The Rockies lead is now 3-2. They're in the 9th inning. Dodgers have already won. They beat the Rangers in Texas 8-4. Boy, Archie cannot find that fastball. 17 pitches, only 6 strikes. Chafin sprinting down to the bullpen. Here's the 2-0. Got a fastball in. Andrew had been warming up earlier in the ball game. You've got the lefty Crawford on deck. Chafin's a guy that can get hot quickly. Two one is upstairs. Belt is not a guy who chases pitches out of the zone. You got to throw him strikes. The 3-1. Right there at 97. Caught the corner down and away, and it's full. Big pitch by Bradley. Crawford on deck. Chafin warming up in the pen. Brad Ziegler will join him down there. Here's the 3-2 to Brandon Belt. High in the air, right field for Souza. Darno's at second, and he will tag and dig for third. He's in there with 2 outs. Crawford is the hitter. Chafin looks to be ready in the pen if you want the lefty, and that'll be it. Here comes Torrey. So we'll replace the beard with the sheriff's mustache, and Chafin inherits a mess. Scoreless in the 8th, 2 on and 2 out. Back in a moment. has at times been an issue for Andrew Chafin as of late. He needs to step up here with runners at first and third and 2 outs in a scoreless 8th inning. Andrew's 63rd appearance of the year. On to face the left-hand batting Brandon Crawford. Crawford singled in the 4th. He's got d'Arnaud at third and Longoria at first. Starts him off with a good fastball at 94. Crawford, a .283 hitter this year versus left-hand pitching. He can handle lefties. 6 home runs against lefties this year. Ziegler continues to get loose in the bullpen. Here goes Longoria from first, uncontested. And now a single can score 2. Third stolen base of the year for Longoria. If you wanted to, you could put Crawford on here, bring in Ziegler to face Slater, the on-deck man. Here's the 1-1. Check this swing, rolls away from Murphy. He did offer at the pitch, and it's a strike. 1-2.
Spikes that slider in the dirt. John Ryan takes it off the right rib cage, but doesn't get far enough away to allow d'Arnaud to even think about coming down that third base line.
A lot of pressure on John Ryan right here. You know, Chafin would like to go to that slider against the lefty if he can. But he's got d'Arnaud down there at third. Good block. It's 2-2. Ziegler is ready in the bullpen. Got that fastball in on Crawford again. That's how he started him off in the at-bat. The 2-2 on the way. Went to the slider. Murphy able to keep it in front of him. And it's a full count.
I mean, that ball is squared up right in the middle of the chest protector. Pow. Drops right down in front. Nowhere for d'Arnaud to go. Outstanding job by John Ryan Murphy.
That's a game saver right there. Needs to make a pitch. They've liked the fastball in and the slider away. Here it is on 3-2. That is tapped fair up the line. Goldie's got it. Chafin's there, and the Sheriff strands two. We are still scoreless as we head to the ninth in San Francisco.
Ball in for a swing and a miss. He misses away with a fastball. Slider for a strike. Watch how many of these pitches John Ryan Murphy has to block in the dirt from Andrew Chafin. Another fastball in. Slider over the heart of the plate. Another slider down in the dirt. And then eventually gets him to roll over a slider. Easy ground ball to Goldie for a 3-1 put out at first base. That's our Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing cool play of the game right there. Big at bat in the ball game.
And a big out recorded by Andrew Chafin, stranding those two Archie Bradley walks, gets us to the ninth inning. New pitcher for the Giants, the lefty Will Smith. And just up from AAA Reno today is the right-hand batting Christian Walker, who comes in to start us off in the ninth. Walker's first appearance with the D-backs since July the 1st. Christian only 20 games with the D-backs this year, 208 with 1 home run. This is the right-hand bat off the bench that they wanted for Torey Lovullo. Going to face a lot of left-hand pitching in Los Angeles. And they're against the lefty right now. Christian at AAA Reno this year, 299 with 18 homers. Having another solid year for the Gases, 71 RBIs in 84 games in the Coast League.
Yeah, that 1 home run that Christian Walker hit earlier this season, that was May 1st against the Dodgers. Still tied for the 3rd longest of the season, 479 feet.
He's got some big time power. Down 1-2. Popped it up behind first. Darno in there for panic. Runs it down. Here's the leadoff man, John Jay, 0 for 3 with a walk. Have gone to the bottom of the 9th in LA. The Rockies lead the Angels 3-2. Wade Davis on to close for Colorado. Dodgers won at Texas earlier tonight. Right back to Smith. 2 down. Here's AJ 0 for 3. Walked his last time up. No runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Diamondbacks. No runs, 5 hits, 2 errors for the Giants. Brad Ziegler warming up again in the D-back bullpen, joined this time by Brad Boxberger. Giants bullpen is quiet. This is along the right field line near that bullpen and out of play. San Francisco with the home half of the 9th has 6, 7, and 8 due up. Slater, Duggar, and Hundley. Still waiting. I think he's put a jacket on. Is he reading the paper? 0-1 on AJ.
You got to give it up for Jack. He's been standing out there all night long.
Probably in the job description.
More than likely.
Just guessing. Really? The whole time? Yeah, the whole time. That's why you're getting the big money. All right.
All the jumbo jacks you can eat.
Still got a smile on his face, though.
Love that hat.
Looks good on you, though. 1-2. That's foul at third in front of Tony Perez-Chica. There's your weatherman ball dude.
I think that's the Amtrak engineer.
Yeah, that's the son. All right. It's a family business chasing down these foul balls.
He got a fist bump for his efforts there.
There's Dad. That's fair at third. Longoria's got it, and the Diamondbacks shut out for 9 innings last night. Blanked for 9 tonight. That's now 23 consecutive innings without a run. Bob Burnley, Todd Walsh with you. Our Gila River game summary. 9 more scoreless for the Diamondbacks in San Francisco. The pitching matchup we anticipated did indeed materialize. Buchholz and Bumgarner. And in a 0-0 ball game, Brad Ziegler is on to work the bottom of the 9th. Austin Slater, Steven Duggar, and Nick Hundley due up for the Giants 6, 7, and 8. Slater singled his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Now a final in Los Angeles. The Rockies beat the Angels 3-2. So we're getting no help from the Angels tonight as the Colorado bullpen hangs on. Wade Davis closes out the 9th with a 1-run lead. This is bounced to Ahmed at shortstop. So the Rockies win. Dodgers won in Texas 8-4. The pressure's on the NL West division leaders. Here's Duggar, the hero last night. 0 for 3 tonight. A D-backs loss, and they'll be tied for the division lead with the Rockies. The Dodgers will be only 1 game back. Giants have been a problem for Torey Lovullo's ball club. They've won 7 of the last 9 meetings. D-backs just 7-10 against Bruce Bochy's team this year. Three and 0 on Duggar. Hundley on deck. Jake Diekman starts to get loose in the Diamondback bullpen. Reyes Maranta for the Giants. There's the strike. Jake got 1 out in the ball game last night. And Duggar is the winning run aboard with 1 out in the 9th. Hundley the hitter. Now Duggar's got good speed, 5 of 6 in his stolen base attempts this year. He's got center fielder type speed. Hundley singled in the 5th. He's 1 for 3.
And Bruce Bochy doesn't push a lot of buttons with the guys at the top and middle of his order, but the guys at the bottom, he will occasionally play a little bit of hit and run, start runners over there, try to steal bases, but usually doesn't do it for the first 5 or 6 hitters in the lineup.
Duggar holds it first. There's a strike. Pitcher spot behind Hundley. Alan Hansen has come out in the on deck circle for the Giants, with Maranta warming up in the pen.
And the reason I mentioned a potential hit and run, you got Brad Ziegler on the mound. This guy is a double play machine. In order to avoid that, sometimes you start the runner, figuring the batter's going to put the ball on the ground anyway.
Duggar broke for second, then stopped. 1-1 on Hundley. Jose Aguasil coaching at first. There's Maranta getting loose for the Giants. Two and 1 on the Giants catcher. Red Ziegler worked in the ball game last night, 2/3 of an inning, 10 pitches. He retired McCutchen and Belt. Winning run at first, 1 out. That's belted into left. Duggar flying into third. He's got the ball in front of him, puts on the brakes, and he's back there in time. He was coming around that second base bag at full speed, and Duggar might be hurt. He had that play in front of him the whole time. He was flying around that bag. Here's the throw from Jay.
On one hop back to Nick Ahmed, the cut man. He clearly got the left hand in on the base. Not sure. He's grabbing at his left shoulder there on the ground.
Yeah, he is still down, and he appears to be in a good deal of pain.
We mentioned how big the outfield is here at AT&T Park, and John Jay doesn't possess one of the stronger throwing arms in baseball. I think Duggar was going to try to take advantage that time, but Jay got to the ball quickly, unleashed that throw back to Nick Ahmed. Duggar was out there in no man's land, really had to scramble to get back to the base.
Well, Duggar last year barely played in over 40 games in their minor league system. He was hampered by elbow and hamstring injuries. Still down there out there at the bag.
Yeah, not sure if it was from the slide when his hand hit the ground, possibly jammed his shoulder, or you could see the tag by Ketel Marte came right down on the back of that left shoulder as well.
He doesn't look like he's feeling that good right now, but he's up and on his feet. He's the winning run, so they need to be sure that he's good to go.
They do have Gorkis Hernandez available off the bench if necessary. If Duggar can't go, I think the question right now is, can you run? Can you score from second base if there happens to be a base hit to the outfield?
He's testing out that shoulder. Auditioning for Bruce Bochy here.
Looks like he's talked his way into staying in this ball game.
Well, he nearly ran into an out there, but it's first and second, 1 down, and Hansen will be the hitter. So Hansen is announced. Here comes Torey Lavello. He wants the left-hander Diekman. Hansen is only a .210 batter from the right side of the plate, so they'll go to Diekman here with a winning run at second base and 1 out. Back after this. in hand. The switch hitting Alan Hansen was announced as the pinch hitter. A .210 batter from the right side of the plate. So Torey Lovullo wants him to bat right-handed. He brings in his lefty Jake Diekman. Bruce Bochy counters by recalling Hansen and sending up Gorkys Hernandez to bat from the right-hand side. So he burns Hansen. Hernandez will hit 246 and 13 homers. He's got Duggar at second, Hundley at first, 1 out. And that's a base hit. Here comes Duggar, and the Giants walk it off. And the Diamondbacks drop into a tie with Colorado for the National League West Division lead, with the Dodgers only 1 game back. A 23-inning scoreless drought has really bitten the Diamondbacks as the division lead goes away.
I just feel bad for the Diamondbacks pitchers. Another outstanding performance by a starter tonight. It was Clay Buchholz who went 7 innings of shutout baseball, gave up only 5 hits in the ball game. Bullpen put up zeros until that last pitch.
More from San Francisco after this. Diamondbacks blanked in 9 innings again. They dropped this one 1-0.